Hello, everybody. I will be honest with you today. It's been so hard trying to find the words for this video. I want to invite you to the relationships program that I'm hosting, and I want to tell you why I'm creating this. So, bear with me because I'm just gonna talk to you the way I would talk to a friend over a cup of coffee here in Valencia, okay? To explain what this is about. So this might feel a little bit different than my usual stuff, but let's do this. Ready? So, I've been working with career changers for a long time now, and I'm very passionate about people doing work they love, okay? So I love people helping people find, get connected to their values and really rediscover their power, go after what they want, all this kind of stuff. Love it. But since the beginning of Repurpose Your Purpose, I've always been very, very aware that that's one half of the equation. The other half is, what are the companies like who are hiring somebody who does the work that you want to do? What kind of company are you going to create, right? And oh my goodness. So I started Repurpose Your Purpose almost a decade ago, okay? Almost, yeah. Wow, that's a long time. Almost a decade ago. And here's the thing. At the time, we would have this polls in the United States that shared how many people were unhappy with their job and wanted to quit or we're looking for something else. So we're just like miserable at work, right? And would you believe it that all this time has gone by and it's still the same percentages? So depending on the poll, 50 to 80% of American workers are not happy with where they work. Like, how is this a thing? This is how I talk to my friends, just by the way, with a lot of my hands moving. But how is this a thing, right? So I looked up Spain, just for curiosity, that's 70%. So it's an international problem. But here's, since I studied Repurpose, well, not since I started, but as Repurpose Your Purpose has grown, I've also worked with some leaders and business owners and so forth, right? So I love that. But I really, in my heart, I feel the relational dynamics we have at work are so important. Unless you're stuck doing work that is a bad fit for your skills, which in my experience, the people I work with is the minority of career changers that are in that situation. For most people, the stress of the work comes from the relational dynamics. Okay, what do I mean by relational dynamics? I mean like how people treat each other, how the hierarchy structure works, how much somebody feels supported or heard. How do we share feedback? I mean, all the things, they're interpersonal, right? The dynamics. And part of the reason, there are many reasons why I think the dial hasn't shifted in a decade. But one thing that I can address personally is because I think a lot of the teachings around relational dynamics are not transformation based, they are information based. Okay, what do I mean by information based? Information based is outside in. This is how it should be. This is what you should say. This is the script, the framework, all of this kind of stuff. But there is no real transformation inside happening, okay? So one of my favorite and most controversial examples here is the whole nonviolent communication framework, okay? Now, I'm all for nonviolent communication. That's fantastic. Please do more of that. But the way it's taught, it's a framework, right? So you're taught this is what you say, the steps. And one of the things I studied a long time ago, so now I don't remember, all the steps, but one of the things is to make I statements, to say how you feel, not to blame other people. Well, I don't know if this has ever happened to you, but it's happened to me, a few times, living in California. Is people using that framework where they're upset at you, like in my case, when they were upset at me, using that framework, but I can tell a mile away that they're using the nonviolent communication format, but they're still upset at me. And even though they're using the I statement or they're saying something about themselves, what they're really thinking is it's like they're blaming me, So the surface is there, the framework is right, but the inside has not transformed. Okay? Human beings, consciously or unconsciously, are pretty good at picking up certain things. And when you're in dynamics where people are going through the motion, but the change hasn't happened, not only you end up with bad relational dynamics, you end up with this feeling of inauthenticity and distrust and just insecurity at the bottom, because you're in this environment where you're like, I don't know, they're saying this, so I can't complain, but I don't feel right, and all this stuff. So the change and the teachings have to be transformational. And in my experience, the best way to transform relational dynamics, and honestly, the best way to transform, alongside if you do one-on-one coaching, which is great, is to work with a small group over time so you can have some insights, be in some conversations, not just hear your voice or that of the coach, being in an environment that is designed, like all my work is designed for your inner wisdom to show up. Okay? And then in between sessions, you can be in life with these insights or with these teachings and kind of start experimenting, trying, noticing, see what comes up for you. This is really why 8 weeks. Why I'm not doing, hey, come a weekend, all that. No, 8 weeks, every Friday morning if you're in the United States, or Friday late afternoon, early evening if you're in Europe. I know it's a Friday, I'm sorry, but let's do it so we have the whole week. We have data from the whole week and things to talk about. 90 minutes with a small group. We're gonna have really deep, insightful, but not super heavy or, really something to open up space for your own wisdom. For you to understand, this is why something bothers me. This is why this feels really good. For you to feel empowered and clear about your preferences. For you to start trusting your gut feeling where it says this is healthy, this is unhealthy. For you to expand your confidence, or maybe to find your confidence for the first time in your ability to deal with different situations, to deal with different environments, to be in relational dynamics, healthy relational dynamics at work with different types of people, right? In different positions. I really want to see these statistics change. It's not acceptable. 50 to 80% of workers, 70% in Spain. What are we doing? What are we doing? So yes, we need to do the work on finding what we like, what we love, what we want to do. Absolutely. And we need to build companies, build teams, be the kind of coworker, be the kind of leader, be the kind of boss, be the kind of employee direct report that co-creates a healthy workplace culture. Okay, it's up to all of us. So I am, I'm doing my little thing. You know me, I do my little thing. But I really hope you join me. You want to learn this. You want to transform, because you transform is going to be a ripple effect. Okay. And let me say one last thing, because this is a lot on my mind as well. And this is what I would say also if I was at a coffee, chat with a friend. I mean, we need to change this economic system. This economic system is not working for most people. And any economic system is based on the way we see other human beings and we relate to them. A company that supports and pays its employees well is a company that establishes different relational dynamics than a company that exploits employees and that does not recognize the value of everybody. You can be part of this change. You can engage with this change. And I think it's the major shift right now that at least some of us are called to do. And I really want to invite you to this. So this is it. I'm talking a lot with my hands. But if this resonates with you, join me. Okay, you have some time. There's a form there. We can have a chat one-on-one. You can find all the details on this page if you're looking at this on my website, or on or I have the link if you're on YouTube or something. Really consider joining me. Share it with a friend. Maybe like get your workplace to pay for it, or come with some colleagues. I really, really hope to see this shift. All right, I'm gonna let you go, and I hope to hear from you soon.